Today we're gonna look at cards that were broken in 2014. I found this article by PC Gamer, never mind they're called primergames.com, and they talked about the top 25 cards in 2014. So that is like 6-7 years ago. I want to see if those cards still see play. Are they broken? Did they become part of the Hall of Fame? All that. But before we start, here's a message from myself. I'm the sponsor of my own video. We have a Solem daily channel. You like epic gameplay where we play epically and make tier list, and sometimes you react to videos. We have that channel called Solem Daily. It is me, but daily. So for everybody who gets annoyed by my voice, you can get annoyed twice as often, maybe even 3 times as often. You never know. You can like, you can sub, you can do all of that. It's free. Imagine it wouldn't be free. Imagine you would have to pay to sub. But now, transition. Published April 23rd, 2014, 9 AM about Hearthstone Heroes of Warcraft. Hearthstone is not called Heroes of Warcraft anymore. It's just Hearthstone. These are the 25 best cards in Hearthstone. They already misplayed. They already did an oopsie. They have to say, based on my opinion. They didn't say that. They stated that as a fact. Dislike, I hate the list. Assassinate, Bloodlust, and more make the cut. Really? Wow, okay, that is not the best list then. Like, Hearthstone was still in beta at that point in time. Assassinate was a good card? I can't imagine that. Make sure you have these powerful cards in your deck. That is not how deck building works, but let's take a look. First, Spellbreaker. Oh, that card got Hall of Famed. Yeah, turns out people don't like Silenced. There was this one article in 2015 and now by Kibler where he talked about how Silence is just not a fun mechanic. Yeah, Spellbreaker, that card is not in standard anymore. It's Hall of Famed. People hate Silence. So yeah, this card was good, or is good. Regardless of class, a 4-3 for just 4 mana. Wow, for just 4 mana, you get a 4-3. What else do you get for 4 mana? I couldn't think about anything. Fire Elemental. So Shaman was, I think, the worst class back then for like the first couple of years. But Fire Elemental always was a decent card. The only deck you could play was like max/midrange Shaman for the first 2 years. Up until like Tunnel Truck got released and became really good. So yeah, that was a decent card. A 6-5 for 6 mana wouldn't be bad even without the added effect. What? That is like Lord of the Arena stats. That is worse than Ogre. If they put in that and say it wouldn't be bad even without the added effect, they have to put in Ogre. It doesn't even have an overload cost. Crazy. It doesn't even overload. Any deck with a high number of Battlecry or combo effects needs a Brewmaster card. This card hasn't seen play since 2014. They thought this card is good? That's crazy. It's like Shadow Step but for 2 mana. Usually summon the very same minion you removed in a single turn. Yeah, why would you do that? Just play a different minion. You know those people that flex their riches, flex their Rolex, their Tesla, and their Lambo? I flex my dust count. 75k and counting. What is that, 200? And they only have a single copy? Pathetic. True Silver. Yeah, that is a good card. We even got Lightforged Z a lot that gives you True Silver Champion for free. With only 2 durability, True Silver Champion won't last long. However, with 4 damage, it's very useful for both clearing taunt minions and direct hits on enemy heroes. Wow, but it's only good to clearing taunt minions. If you don't face somebody playing Silverback Patriarch, this card is not good. With so many low-cost cards, Warriors excel at one-turn combos. Yes, like in Patron Warrior. Normally we wouldn't recommend a Magma Rager, but with a charge spell and commanding shout, he becomes a very annoying glass cannon. Crazy, you wouldn't recommend Magma Rager? Why? Magma Rager is great. Actually the first decent card that still sees play regularly. Delay Tactics quite nicely, that's what you do with that when you play the long Stranglehold Tiger. That is exactly what you do, you just delay your tactic. Nourish before it got nerfed. Yeah, can agree, whatever the text says, not gonna read that. It's a good card. It was always good. You gain mana or you draw cards for 5, that's even better than for 6. But for number 18, there's Lightwell. How do you put Lightwell higher than Nourish? Generally, it's best to avoid cards that do only heal. Yes, exactly, the card is terrible. Lightwell is slightly different. It can pump up other priest cards that benefit from higher health, like Lightspawn and minions with Inner Fire. Did people really play Inner Fire Priest with Lightwell back then? Void Terror. At that point, the guy who made the guide ran out of dust to even craft the card for a picture. It's the definition of a Warlock card. Or is it? Hasn't seen play in like 5 years. You sacrifice a minion and get a better minion in exchange. Can agree so far. It can even absorb temporary buffs on minions like PO. Yes, that is a good point. You used to play like Death Battle / Zoo Warlock, where you played cards like Nerubian Arc and Power Overwhelming, and then after you attacked with a minion and the effect on that, you absorbed that, got all the stats on your minion, and summoned a 4/4. That was really good back then. Lightspawn, it's tempting to use Divine Spirit and Power Word Shield. Oh yeah, Power Chick got nerfed. And Divine Spirit became part of the Hall of Fame? Or was that enough fire? Or both? We urge you to be cautious. However, a single silence will turn this amazing minion into useless cardboard. Yeah, even without silence, this became useless cardboard. But even nowadays, if you were to have this minion stick on the board and you go for double Divine Spirit Inner Fire for 6 mana, that is not bad. But yeah, 4 mana 5/5, better stats than Yeti. Summoning Portal. Was this different back then? No. Warlock cards already cost very little mana, true. They cost even less, and suddenly the ever-popular Warlock Rush. Did this guy predict Rush minions? This also allows you to clear your hand to negate the sacrifice of cards like Succubus. Sorry, Succubus doesn't exist, it's called Fellstalker. Way better artwork, obviously. I'm not sure if this card was really good back then, but with Snip Snap this card became broken when it cost 0 mana. When like Mech Whopper was in play, this thingy, Snip Snap, that wasn't fun. I understand the concept, but would you really play that in Zoo Warlock in like 2014? I don't know, I wouldn't. I would just play Defender of Argus instead or something like that. 14. Fireball. Yeah, can agree. Fireball is a good spell that deals damage, 4 mana. We can skip that. Starfall. At this point, he only has 5 dust. Starfall costs 1 extra mana than Fireball for 1 less damage. Exactly. Card sucks. Starfall was always decent, especially when Ragnaros came around like a couple months after that. And you could play like Poisoned Seeds into Starfall. That was a good combo in Druid. Unleash the Hounds. Oh, this card got nerfed like 4 times, I think. Like in the very first state this card was in, it gave like all your beast charge or something insane like that for 1 mana. This one, yeah, this one was really good back then. With Hunter's Mark costing 0 mana, Scavenging Hyena, getting +2/+1 for every single minion dying. Timberwolf, yeah, this card was great for going face. I mean, sorry, going back to Explosive Traps, for delaying your tactics. That was good for that. Was this card ever good? It's low mana cost. That's 3 mana to deal 2 damage. That's so bad. And endless playability. Yeah, exactly. Endless playability. You play it once and then you die. Forcing priests to waste mana and heals on keeping themselves in the game. How was Hearthstone in 2014 that this one was true? This seems like such a made-up statement. Windspeaker. This guy was good in like even Shaman like 2-3 years ago. It's a useful devastating keyword. Really? Wind Fury is so bad. Windspeaker imparts that ability to any... Who talks like that? And provides mid-tier board presence as well. That's a 3/3. That's like Bloodfin Raptor, +2 mana. That's terrible. This creature can win games out of nowhere. Just play the 2 mana spell called Wind Fury. The 28/28 Light Spawn we talked about earlier? Should watch out for this card. Polymorph irreversibly. Morphs any minute into a 1/1 sheep. It's annoying. This felt like an ad. Next one is Hex. Why is Hex so big compared to that? Look at that giant frog. The card got even nerfed to 4 mana. It has to be in here. It's cheaper than Polymorph 2. Yeah, that didn't age well. It became 4 mana. Next of Scenarios. When Druid got the quest in Doom. Before that, I guess it was just a good legendary because stats were better than anything else in the early stages of the game. Of all the expensive legendary minions, Scenarios might be the best. Really? Wasn't Ragnaros a card in there? So we have like 6 more cards on the list. This is number 7. There has to be Ragnaros in there. Or Tyrion. He's a game ender that can both win you the match if you control the board, or give you control with a pair of 2/2 minions with Taunt. In a Druid deck with Nourish and Wild Growth, it's possible to get him out very early. Yeah, that's not a wrong fact. Mana Ram is really good. Number 6, Assassinate though. Wow, no. Correct me if my name is Steven, but this card never saw play, did it? Why just morph on enemy card when you can remove it outright? Since most rogue cards don't cost much anyway, it's great for paving the way for combo cards like SI7 Agent and Defias Ringleader. Yes, on turn 7 or 8, you want to summon 4/3 in stats or SI7 Agent. True. Mind Control. This card used to cost 8 mana, then got nerfed to 10. This was a good card because Priest was a decent class back then. And if your opponent plays 1 giant minion, you just take it in stat. Yeah, that was just good. Bloodlust. Whatever it says in the text down here, yes, if you have any bot in Shaman and you want to win the game, play Bloodlust. That card has been good for years. It doesn't really see that much play anymore, but if you have any bot, like any bot at all, like 3+ minions, this deals like 9 damage and more. In the top 3 there's Malygos. Yeah, that card is great. 4 years. And people talk about this card should be part of the Hall of Fame. 4 years. True, Malygos should be in that list. Run it in your mage stack and see what happens. Definitely deserve top 3. Oh, no. Top 2 is Lord Jaraxxus? Really? The second best card in their list is Jaraxxus? This was the second legendary I ever opened next to Onyxia, and I know my friends said, wow, you got Lord Jaraxxus? That is insane, the card is great. Didn't people all play Zoo back then or Handlock? I guess Jaraxxus made sense in Handlock back then, but in Zoo, yeah, he didn't do much. alters their hero ability to summon a 6/6 demon and a 3/8 weapon for just 2 mana. Must have been one of the best cards when it comes to value. Lord J? Good guy. Now what is number 1? So I'm thinking, they didn't include Savannas, they didn't include Ragnaros, there's no Doomsay yet to see. Maybe one of those is going to be number 1. Let's find out, team. It's Flamestrike? What? 7 mana, 4 damage, all minions. Like most mage spells, it's simple, rigid, and annoying. Combine it with a Malygos and it will wipe out even the most powerful minions in Hearthstone. Hunters, Shamans, and Warlocks beware. I can see that Flamestrike was a staple, especially in Arena, for years. Like, it's 100% deserved to be like top 5 or top 10 back then. But where are the other cards? Also, I have an ad down below. What is this? Why do I get an ad for Genshin Impact? So those are the top 25 cards based on an article in 2014 in April. So when the game was not even released yet. It's interesting to think that some of those cards were actually considered to be good. Like Lightspawn? Good. Summoning Portal outside of Snipstab? No. Lightwell? At all? This was the most surprising one in here. So I guess what we learned is Malygos is still one of the cards that is really good. Some of the cards in here became part of the Hall of Fame or got nerfed. And you should 100% include Lightwell in all your pre-stacks because it heals. Fantastic card crafted in golden. Boys and 2% girls, thanks so much for watching. You want to see epic gameplay on the daily channel and tier list? You want to hear me talk about money and stuff like that? We have another channel called Melos. It's Solem backwards. Let me know what you thought was the most surprising card in here. Maybe you know if Assassinate ever saw play, because I'm not sure about that. Leave a like, consider subscribing, it's free, and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.